Welcome back to APTN National News. In 2021, the Nunavut Independent Television Network launched Uvagut TV, a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week station. It delivers 90% of its programming in the Inuktitut language. And NITV is now in the process of applying to the CRTC to take the station to a national audience. To explain more, we're joined by Lucy Tulugarjuk, NITV's Executive Director, and Kaya Robinson, the Secretary-Treasurer of NITV's Board of Directors. Lucy, Kaya, thank you so much for joining us here on APTN National News. So first off, Lucy, maybe we'll start with you. Can you tell us why NITV wants to take Uvagut TV national?
Inuit live in the Arctic and throughout Canada, and I believe that Inuit should have their rights to hear Inuktitut on TV and non-Inuit to learn about Inuit from Inuit. Thank you.
And Kaya, I'll ask you this next question here. It seems other networks do offer some Inuit language broadcasting at least. Why is there a need to go national?
The need really comes from the community have expressed the need to have language 24/7, Inuktitut language content and cultural content. Not a criticism of the other networks that do provide it. That has been a really instrumental resource, but there is a growing need to have access all day to Inuktitut language and culture, and it really speaks to the need for language and cultural protection and revitalization, and for Inuit to have a space in the broadcast and network world that reflects them by them.
And Lucy, I'll come back to you for this question. How much of an effect do you think television can have on language and culture loss and revitalization perhaps as well?
I've seen it. I lived it. Lived before the TV came to Igloolik. Inuktitut was fluent, and Inuit in the community of Igloolik thought that having only English and French would impact the Inuktitut language in our community. And 35 years or so, 40 years later, it does have an impact in our community, in our language. There's children now who are able to speak in English. At our age, when we were their age, we were not able to speak English. But I think that going to preschool, for example, they may count 1, 2, 3 instead of atawsak mahok pingasut in our own language, for an example. So it has had an impact. Before the TV existence, we would speak in Inuktitut in the early 80s, counting in Inuktitut, and so now we're recollecting. Some villages or some communities have a stronger Inuktitut, and the bigger the community, the English is stronger than the Inuktitut. So I think that it has a big impact in Inuit language.
Well, that's certainly great news to hear. And Kaya, what kind of programming do you expect to broadcast if you do go 24/7?
Well, Uvagut TV is already broadcasting, has been for about 2 years now, through some northern networks and online. And the content is geared towards different segments of the population, children's programming, also the current events programming. Lucy runs a live show that deals with sort of contemporary issues. Uvagut TV has also been really instrumental in broadcasting different regulatory processes, like mining applications and land planning work within the Nunavut territory. And that has been really important for public engagement in these processes. So, you know, the goal is to have a revenue stream that allows for more production, more content that's in Inuktitut. It would be great to have, you know, children's TV programs, talk shows, you know, maybe daytime dramas, you know, that whole content spectrum. And you have, you know, a need for that and I think a right to it.
Well, the daytime dramas would certainly be unique, and a lot of people, I'm sure, would love that. And I'll open up my last question to the both of you, or whoever wants to answer it. What do you hope viewers who don't speak Inuktitut, I'm still having trouble with that myself, might learn if they do come across your network?
Our own stories, our culture, our language, and our way of living, that we are modernized. We are currently always updating with the rest of the world. Thank you.
Yeah, and the content's also, there's subtitles. The intention is to have subtitles, so you won't need to understand Inuktitut to be able to appreciate the content. And I think as a non-Indigenous person myself, I think in a Canadian living in southern Canada, the importance of seeing Inuit content by Inuit is so important for, I think, reconciliation and relationship building generally. I think, Commissioner Sinclair has said, it's education that brought us here. It's education that's going to bring us forward. And this is an amazing forum for Inuit to educate and for non-Inuit Canadians to educate themselves. I think it would have a tremendous impact on, us as a nation in a good way.
Well, that's really well said, Kaya. Lucy, Kaya, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you both so much for joining us here today and sharing a little bit of insight with us.